So, good morning. So this is a quick demo of IntelliSHOT in action in one of our meeting rooms here in Weert in the Netherlands. So what you're seeing right now is I've put it in, it's nearly its most aggressive way of zooming in, zooming out, but it's quite quickly after I entered the room, it started detecting me and tracking me across this room. And as you can see right now, I am here in this room by myself, and I'm just me that is being framed, and it's automatically basically based on the motion that I do in this room, I'm being detected. And if after a couple of seconds a colleague of mine would join and also enter the room, they would be able to, the IntelliSHOT would automatically be able to detect that second person coming into the room. And as you can see, it will not immediately start tracking my colleague that enters the room. It will wait a couple of seconds because it will first need to detect that actual someone not just passed by but was actually joining this meeting as well. And as you can see, the IntelliSHOT will now automatically zoom out or basically increase the entire field of view, so we can basically everybody that is in the meeting right now will be framed automatically just based on attendance in the room. And the same thing if colleague Stuart will please leave the room now. You will see that it will automatically, after a while, it will still remember that Stuart was in that position for a couple of seconds, so it will not immediately start moving. But and the good thing is, as well, is that this is something that can actually be fine-tuned. So if you think the actual adjustment is either too slow or too quick, one of the biggest benefits of IntelliSHOT is that you can actually have full control over how quickly it will do. Also, how tight the shot will be around me, so you can define how much space basically to the sides of me is visible, but also how far it will zoom in when it's doing that, or basically that is one of the biggest benefits of IntelliSHOT, is that you can actually have full control over that auto framing. So what I'm also, just for here's when I'm using the internal microphones of this of the IntelliSHOT. It is still a prototype that I'm using, so I've been told that the microphones have not been finalized yet, but this is at least the level you will get out of these microphones. And also, again, just for your reference, this is also the I am now, let's say, about 3-4 meters away from the camera itself. And even if I would be in the back of this room, the internal microphone would be able to capture that quite easily. So it is not necessarily so you can for this type of room, so where in the past you would be able to house, say, maybe 8 to 10 people in a room. Most of those rooms you could actually just use the internal microphones of the IntelliSHOT to get that room covered. But as we discussed earlier during this presentation, is that IntelliSHOT also has a line in, line out available, and that will also make give you more options of adding additional audio as well. So with that, I just wanted to well, one of the things I could also see is that if I would, for example, extend my arms and make myself bigger, whatever you call it, IntelliSHOT can also basically increase the frame to get everything in that same view as well. So what you see right now is that it will actually zoom out, making sure that everything that is basically visible is also in that shot. And one of the other things is that we really are focusing on movement in the room, and it will not be, I could put a picture of a person in this room, or even put like a doll or a dummy here in this room. IntelliSHOT will only focus on things that are actually moving in the room. So that's also one of the things that will make it a better experience for the end user, um, basically without less false positives. Let's say, is there anything else that I want to highlight? Well, obviously one of the things you can see right now is we're using very high quality image sensors in this camera. So this will actually give you a much higher image quality than you get for most comparable cameras. And with that, I just want to thank you for your info and switch back to the other camera for a second.